science. It's everywhere and it is so much fun, especially in the little years. This is one of my favorite subjects to teach, and there's a reason why. I'll tell you more about it in just a minute. We're going to tell you everything we're doing for our first grade science this year at the most magical homeschool on earth. Hi fellow, if we haven't met before, I'm Jordan Ashley and this is the most magical homeschool on earth. Now, science is one of my favorite curriculums for a lot of reasons, and we'll get into that, and we'll get into all the different ways that we are incorporating science into our curriculums this year. One of my absolute favorites is towards the middle, and I want to see if it's your favorite too. I'd love to know. But for now, why is science so important to me? Well, first of all, I have my bachelor's of science in biology and I have my master's of science in nursing. I have taught all levels of science in various different ways, whether I was teaching at Walt Disney World as an animal science and environment educator, or I was working in zoo settings with all kinds of animals like lions and tigers and not bears galore, you know? And then I've also worked as a adjunct nursing professor. So I've worked with all different ages with science, and what I love about science is it really does not have to be intimidating. It can be incorporated into your daily life. It's everywhere. Any intentional conversation you have can spark a love for the world around us and for science in general, and just curiosity. That's science. Curiosity about the world around us, that is science, and you can incorporate it in so many different ways, and it can be so fun. We are actually not doing a science curriculum this year. We are not doing an open and go box curriculum for science at all, and that's not just because I have a strong background in science. It might help, don't get me wrong, but you can do it too. I guarantee it. Let me know down in the comments below what you do for science, plus which one of these things coming up will be most likely or the easiest for you to implement in your homeschool. I would love to know and see if anything that we use would be helpful for you as well. So this video, we're focusing on my first grader, everything we're doing for science for her, and thankfully she already knows a lot about early foundations in science. So she is very inquisitive. She likes going outside and doing nature journals. She likes investigating and diving into books about science. She likes shows about science. I love seeing her budding interest in that way, and it's really fun. And I think one thing that sparked it a lot is, you know those busy books that preschoolers do when they learn their numbers and their letters and their colors? Well, I made one of those for her, but I also made her a science one because I could not find a science one anywhere, not a good one. So I decided to make my own, and now she has completely finished it. She has dived deep into the concepts. We have done dozens of different topics about science to spark her interest in that early foundation years. And now my preschooler is going to be utilizing it this year, kind of learning about the scientific method and all the different avenues that you can focus on with science in a fun and engaging way. So if you're interested in that, I do have it in my shop. No pressure. But we have a good foundation in science already, so we're going to be springboarding off of that. Now, there is one thing that we're doing that is kind of structured outside of our own homeschool, and that is for co-op. We are going to be doing a science curriculum on our co-op days. So we're going to be going through a book that the other co-op moms have decided on, and we are going to be like doing the science experiments and like basic lesson plans from that, just to have some fun interaction with other friends in the science field. The next bit of our science curriculum is going to be the thing I'm most excited about. And if you've been around the most magical homeschool on earth for a while now, you will know, whether you're here on YouTube or on TikTok or in our Facebook group, you know how much I love a good unit study and how I think that it just incorporates like what it is to learn in real life, because everything's connected and it just fuels the learning and makes you want to learn more and more, and it helps you dive deep into different subjects. Sometimes helps you get engaged with subjects that you wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards normally. Now, science is usually one of those core things that we include in our unit studies, and I have been working really hard on some brand new unit studies that are really in-depth deep dives into different subjects or into different topics this year, and they are all movie themed. Now, not themed based on the movie, but inspired by different movies that our kids and perhaps us young at heart adults know and love. So I'm really excited. I really want to keep you in the loop. So make sure you're subscribed and look down in the description box below if you're watching this later, because they might already be available. But we are going to be diving deep into Ocean Voyagers and into the magic within. So since they are being printed, bound, and sent to me, and they're not quite here yet, I'm just going to give you a little teaser. So we are going to do unit studies that will pair really well with watching like Moana, or pair really well with watching Encanto. So they're not affiliated with Disney at all, and they are just inspired by themes within those movies. But I think it will spark a lot of fun learning for our family and beyond. So if you're interested, look down in the description box below. But for now, let's move on, because we are going to be talking about things like our interest-led activities. So science is very interest-led in our house, whether our kids are really interested in how the roller coaster works at Magic Kingdom, or if they're really interested in a cotton-top tamarin that is jumping around with their little new babies at Animal Kingdom, or maybe they go into our backyard and they see the clouds forming very quickly, or there's a hurricane coming. We live in Florida. So we do a lot of interest-led learning. What they're interested in is what we dive deep into. And so I really want to teach them how to do proper research and how to look for good, valid sources, viable sources for that research, so that they can learn what's true and have good discernment from that. So we do provide them with a ton of resources, and my girls are pretty young, first grade and under, so we do a lot of book research through books instead of online thus far. But if they would like to utilize the internet and learn from resources there, I have begun to teach my daughters a little bit about that as well. So if you would like to learn more about that, comment down below and I will do a video on how I educate my kids on research and how to go through life knowing what's most likely the best source of information. So we do have a lot of books that are resource books in the science field, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites now. Okay, so we use these books in a lot of different ways. We use our reference books to dive deeper into unit study topics that we're already focusing on, and then we dive deeper into topics that they're interested in, like those hurricanes or the bug they see on the window. We look it up and dive deeper that way, or we will kind of encourage a exploration. So we'll kind of strew a few books out. We'll put a few books out in the morning on the table if we don't already have a topic that they are really interested in and wanting to learn more about, and they will flip through in order to find something new that they might spark their interest. So that's what these are for. Now, some of them include this big Smithsonian knowledge book. And it's a big book of knowledge. There's tons of things to learn about, lots of great pictures. We love that. And this one sparks a lot of interest. They aren't quite reading a lot of it themselves yet. I do a lot of the reading, and that's okay. It helps because I can kind of help them dive deeper as well and help guide their learning. Same thing with this periodic table from the Usborne books. My daughter loves this much more than I love the periodic table. I did lots of levels of like all the way through organic and biochemistry in school, and well, let's just say it wasn't my favorite. So she loves this. She lifts up the flaps, and she knows more about the periodic table at her age than I did. I could probably tell you now, other than the fact that I've learned along with her, which is one of the other wonderful benefits of homeschooling, right? This is one of our like physics kind of STEM books that we like, because there's a ton of learning opportunities in here, but also there's like hands-on learning activities. So this is the Maker Lab Outdoors from the Smithsonian, and honestly, this is a great resource for lots of ages. Some of them are a little beyond my kids, and some of them are perfect. So it's going to grow with them, which I love. All of these books will. How to Be an Engineer. This is another hands-on activities that my girls love to like put their little stamps on or put their little bookmarks in to do different activities with us. So they pick them out, and they're very engaged that way. We also do How Things Work Then and Now. So we do incorporate incorporate history with that. We have a lot of Smithsonian and DK books here. So Smithsonian Human Body, this is a great one. It pairs really well with unit studies. Again, I have my master's in nursing, so human body, important for me and really fun to teach because of what I've learned and incorporated into my workspace throughout my life. So that's really fun, and I think it's really important for kids to know as well. We have used the Walduck Ways human body unit, and so that was really fun because she had already had that created, and so we utilized that. Now we have this big old container here, and that is full of like zoo books and other little picture books that have lots of fun information about animals. Our kids are very into the animals right now, and so was I, obviously, all the way through today. I love animals, and so I love talking about them, and this is a great resource for them so they can learn more about the ones they're interested in. We have a ton of outdoor activities. This is a great age and stage for them to just go outside and explore and learn through nature. But these are like really easy, simple activities that they can do to see how nature works and nature in action. Same thing with this one. This one is more of this is a new book for us. We're doing the Nature Connection, an outdoor workbook for kids, families, and classrooms. So all of these that I can find will be in my storefront if you're interested. But because I know I'm just showing them to you very quickly. If you want a deeper dive into any of these, let me know. This one's really fun because it has lots of activities that you can write in. So they're going to be excited about that. But that one's new, so we haven't done anything with that yet. This is the science book, and just has lots of really colorful pictures, really like bite-sized bits of information about different topics. I like to have a lot of resources. Not that you need all of these by any means, but I like to have the resources just in case something sparks their interest. Now, this is a reader from Enjoying God's World, the science reader, and this is from Rebecca. So this is great because by the end of this year, I'm hoping that my daughter is going to be able to read a good portion of this on her own. So we'll use this as a reader because she does love science, and it will encourage her to do to read without me feeling like I'm forcing her to read. I think that she'll really enjoy that. So far, I've just been reading her little bits of it myself, and as far as concepts go, she's kind of far beyond it, but to each their own. Living World Encyclopedia. We got this one from like a thrift store, so it is a older version, but it has lots of really great information. And again, like science can be so easy, guys. Go to the library. You don't need to buy all the books. I just like them. Does anyone else love school supplies and books? Are you a library homeschool mom, or are you a home library homeschool mom? Let me know down in the comments. Both are great. Okay, so this is the Earth book. So same concept as the science book, but all earth sciences. And then we have this big Smithsonian ocean book, and this one really goes really well with our Ocean Voyagers unit that I talked about earlier, that is inspired by themes in Moana. So we're gonna use that book to dive deeper. We've already utilized it in a lot of capacities, like before we go on our cruises and things like that, we'll dive into it. Before we go to the beach, we will typically find some fun things to learn about the ocean in there. So, all that to say, we learn a lot through reference books, and that is just like the tip of the iceberg for us. Now, we also learn a lot through like science shows, and there are so many good ones out there. I will put a list down in the description, and I'll try to tag some of our favorites here. I really want to be Miss Frizzle. I should have worn my Miss Frizzle earrings. I'll do that for the next science video. Remind me. I will do that. But I love learning through experiments and learning through hands-on activities. So there's a lot of those that are already in these books, and we do a lot of experiments in our homeschool. They don't always look exactly the way that they look in the book. Sometimes we change it up, and sometimes we utilize like blogs or Pinterest or YouTube videos. There's so many different resources. Some of our favorite YouTube videos are here. You know that in our unit studies, we like to give you like a playlist of YouTube videos to go along with the unit study. That's really helpful for me to be able to just tag the exact videos to put on my kids' YouTube where they can only watch those. So they can watch those YouTube videos and I can feel completely safe about that because I know exactly what they're going to be watching. So we do that, and we do a ton of nature studies. We're going to be doing a few more of those this year. When we go on our adventures, we go to national parks, and we do a lot of field trips. So we do the Junior Ranger program at national parks, and that doesn't only focus on nature, but there is a ton of science that is incorporated into the Junior Rangers. And so we're going to be doing a few of those this year. And then we just add it into our daily language. So I can encourage you that whatever you are doing in your life, if you go into the kitchen, you can incorporate science. If you cook anything, you can incorporate science. You can incorporate math. And if you're a homeschool mom, you probably already know this, but don't be discouraged by all of the things that you feel like you need to know. All of the different details that go into planning your own curriculum or going off book. But also, if it's more helpful for you in your season to go and get an open box curriculum, that's great too. So whether you are going into the kitchen and talking about chemistry and measurements and things like that, and you are incorporating it into your everyday and utilizing unit studies and being a little eclectic like us and just focusing on exploration, or if you are doing a open box curriculum, then both are great options for your kiddos. Just feel inspired and feel equipped and know that you are loving your kids the best way you can and inspiring them to love learning too. So until next time, pal, I will see you real soon.